Hello, everybody, and welcome to All Things Football, where today we will be discussing Arsenal's 0-0 draw with Manchester United.
Yeah, so where to begin? In all honesty, that was a dreadful game. Both teams had so many chances that game, and both teams just didn't take their chances. Let's just start off with the lineup. So, yeah, what were your thoughts when you first saw the teams?
I tweeted out earlier that I'm going to play Captain Hindsight when I say this. I wasn't happy with that Lindelof partner Maguire at the back, but at the same time, that is Ollie's preferred partnership. I would have wanted Bailly to start because when we do have a faster centre back, we play higher up the pitch. We play with a faster tempo. We're more brave when we do things in possession. I'm happy that Cavani started ahead of Martial. But at the same time, I wasn't happy that Pogba was once again accommodated on the left instead of Rashford. We're sacrificing possibly our best striker/winger in Rashford in his most preferred position for a central midfielder, which also at the same time sacrifices our best combination, which is Luke Shaw and Rashford on the left. So it obviously and very clearly in this game impacted the way we went forward, impacted the way we built up attacks. We were trying to get it to Rashford down the right, which we did a lot, but he's just not as effective because he can only really do one thing, which is go down the line and swing across him, which he did a few times, met a couple of players, but most of the time it didn't really result in much. So I feel like once again, it all boils down to McFred in the middle. He has to get over that obsession.
I actually did say last video that he's gonna play McFred, and that's obviously what he did. Pogba obviously was on the left wing. It didn't make any sense. Again, it doesn't work. And then when McTominay came off, Pogba came into central midfield. I think if we had played previous games with him in midfield, I think then there'll be better partnership. But playing him, keep rotating him around, playing him left mid, putting him in midfield, there's no real team dynamic. It goes back to what we said last episode, where it's just a bunch of individuals on the pitch, and then we just hope for the best or hope for a moment. We hope Bruno will make that moment, or there'll be a moment of Pogba scores and wins the game. But there's no cohesion within the team, and that's the problem. And I think that's just gonna cost us if we want to challenge for the title. We need to have that in the team. In terms of Arsenal's team, they had problems with Saka, so I think we're fortunate in that department because obviously Saka, he's been their main player this season, and then they had Martinelli who came off at half time. But yeah, overall the lineups, I think that's what we expected from Ollie.
I think with the lineup that Arsenal put out, especially Cedric at left back out of his natural position. They had Thomas Partey. He's one of their better players, but he didn't have a good game today. His passing especially was off. I think we really should have been able to take advantage of their weaknesses all across the field, especially with Aubameyang and Saka not being available for selection today. We hear a lot about other teams, especially Liverpool, Man City, being mentality monsters. That's something that we're definitely not. We are a team that get to somewhere where we need to be and then completely take our foot off the accelerator. And in recent weeks, or in the last week or two, you can clearly see there is a decline in the way we're playing, the speed at which we're playing. I don't think the confidence is gone. I just think that we might have reached our ceiling this season. Being top of the league for a couple of game weeks might have been the best that we can do. It is nice to be there and it is nice to be in a title race, but we're going to need to get back to chasing because that's what we were doing. And you were right. You said a couple of weeks ago, you'd rather be chasing than be on top because the chasing team usually does pull through at the end. And maybe we're going to get back there again because we will be chasing Manchester City, but it's really disappointing today.
I think in terms of Fred, you're talking about Partey's passing wasn't good. I didn't want to get onto Fred. I haven't got onto him for a few weeks. Last year I was onto him. This year, it's the same old Fred. He can work as hard as he can, but if you can't make a pass, what's the point? There's so many misplaced passes. I don't get it. It just if we had that one player who, like a Van der Beek, if a Van der Beek was playing, that one person who was calm on the ball, could make the pass, we would have won the game, I think. we would have had more chance. I mean, we did have a lot of chances, but if we had that one person in midfield alongside Pogba, alongside Bruno, who can pick a pass and execute it, it would have made a difference.
Massive difference. Because when we play against teams that, I know Arsenal haven't been this good this season, but they are on the up. When we play against teams that are in the top six, we haven't really done that well this season, and it's become a bit of a repetitive happening where we get the ball in the middle and then we're obviously going to get pressed. You're obviously going to get drowned out by the better teams in the midfield. When you have players like Fred and McTominay, yeah, they run around, yeah, they might nip a few tackles in, but when we're on the ball, that's the most important thing. When we want to get the goal, when we want to start a counter-attack, we cannot do that when we have wayward passing or passes that are just 2 yards behind or just a yard behind. Passes have to be perfect when you're playing at such high tempo. And that's why people like Van der Beek and Pogba need to be in the middle of the park. Yes, Pogba might lose the ball, but that's because he's trying the risky passes. That's because he's trying to make a difference and influence the game in a positive way. I want Van der Beek to play because no matter how ferociously he's getting pressed, he just doesn't blink. It's almost like he takes a deep breath. He might have two players chasing him down, but it always seems like he has an extra 5 yards of space, an extra couple of seconds on the ball. And that's something which I don't understand why Oli doesn't recognise. Because when he has played, it's 1-2 touch, keep it simple. Yeah, obviously you're going to misplace a couple of passes. That happens, but it doesn't happen at the same rate as a McTominay or a Fred.
And it's at the end of the day, it's another 0-0 draw against the top six. The same question, is Bruno hiding? It comes up again. Like, I mean, he performs against obviously the lower teams, but in these big games, you need to find your place. I mean, obviously, it's hard if your strikers aren't taking the chances, but what chances did he create? He didn't get on the ball as much as we've seen him. In a game like this, I think he could have done something more in terms, because as he said, the midfield was so scrappy. That is just like the best opportunity to get the ball and then just play it through. There's chances where Rashford were on the counter, Rashford's making the run. Instead of playing it straight to Rashford as he's done in previous games, he delayed on the pass and then played it to Fred and the ball's gone. Just things like that.
I don't think Bruno's game changes. I think he plays the same regardless of who he plays against. His game just solely depends on who's around him and what they're doing, because he wants to play the risky pass, which is good. Where every team needs a player like that. But when you're playing against, I don't know, a lower team that are more vulnerable to the counter-attack, his risky balls are going to come off because our wingers and strikers are more confident in making those runs. But when we're playing against a team that are more defensively, that have a better defensive unit like Arsenal, regardless of how bad people think they've done this season, they have a good defence. Rashford isn't making those same runs. Martial, when he was on, isn't making those same runs. Cavani might be, but it all depends on what players are doing around him for Bruno stuff to come off, because that's what a creator's role is. Yes, it is his responsibility to play those passes and make those movements and find himself in space. But once he's on the ball and he looks up around him, if Rashford's not making that run or Martial's jogging or walking and Cavani can't really do anything, what can Bruno Fernandes do? There's only so much you can do without the work of your teammates. And that's where I think it all comes back to our mentality. We're playing catch up now, unfortunately. And I just feel like I don't know if the players are up for it. They don't seem up for it. And if they are, they need to prove themselves once again.
Yeah, there was a definite lack of urgency in the game today. I only saw the urgency kick in the last 5 minutes of the game. Where was that for the rest of the game? For the 85 minutes for most of the game? We can't win games or even challenge for a title if we're only showing urgency in the last 5 minutes of a game. That needs to be there right from the start. And right from the start of games, we just don't start games properly. We just don't start games in the right frame of mind. I just don't understand why we have that mentality. It's like we want to go behind, we want to have something to push for, instead of like dominating games, getting the win, and then moving on.
Yeah, that's why I call into question our mentality. I'm not going to say Oli doesn't have any tactics, because he clearly does. But I just feel like when you're fighting for the title, when you want to be a top team, you have a plan A. Liverpool have a plan A. They drown you, high press, quick football. Same with Man City. They drown you out as soon as they get the ball. They pass you to death. Our tactic just honestly seems to be to chase.
But you're saying Ollie has tactics, but just now you didn't really say, we didn't know what our tactic is. Like, we know Man City's tactic.
Our tactic is to fight back. It's almost like he wants to be. I can't think of the word. He wants to
counterattacking. But
he wants to counterattack, and he wants teams to press us so he can counterattack. I think that's the.
But we didn't set out a team to counterattack. We only had
exactly.
Rashford.
It's because he's accommodating. So it's because he's accommodating. When we play against the lower teams, he even said it last season, and he got absolutely rinsed for this. He wants a high press counter attack. It was when we brought in Dan James. High press counter. It doesn't make sense. Ollie's grown from that, but I still feel like that's in the back of his mind. We want to counter attack teams, but when we have Pogba on the left wing, not a fast player, obviously. Cavani's not the fastest player. We have one player on the pitch who can beat two men in a foot race, and that's Marcus Rashford. When we play against a team higher in the table like Arsenal, they are going to be a more dangerous threat on the attack, which is why I feel like counter-attack would have been his philosophy today, but he counteracted it directly with his team selection, which is why I think he is naive. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He is naive, and I don't feel like he's picking the right players. He's picking his favourites, McTominay and Fred being two of them, and I just feel he still has a lot to learn. It's so tricky to talk about today's game because it confused me. What his game plan was didn't match the team selection. The way we played didn't match the team selection. We're feeding Rashford the ball constantly. Why would you put him in a position that isn't his preferred position if you're going to obviously and clearly have him as the person you want to make the difference? Bruno gets the ball, looks straight for Rashford. Wan-Bissaka gets the ball for Rashford. Fred, McTominay, Rashford. But you play him out of position. It never made sense to me.
I think for the team selection, it was the wrong formation.
Yeah.
If we were playing with that team, it should have been a diamond, and we have Cavani and Rashford up front. But in terms of obviously having Pogba left, Rashford right, it doesn't make sense. And then just looking at the stats from the game, we actually had most possession of the ball, surprisingly. Both teams had 3 shots on target out of on average 15 shots each. That's just being clinical. The clinical touch wasn't there from both teams. Cavani, Rashford's foot, when he decided to drag it back instead of shooting.
I can defend him there. I was in the shower thinking about this. If you look on the replay, his first touch with his left foot or right foot, whatever foot he touched it with, he stopped the ball almost dead. In that situation, that's not what you want to do. You want to just have it just maybe out in front of you, then you can take the shot easier. Just as he's about to, pull the trigger, can't remember if it was Martinelli or Cedric, the shot would have been blocked. There was no way that shot was getting past the defender's foot. So dragging the ball back was probably the right thing to do, but it's just what he did after that. I do think he then had the opportunity to maybe swing at it with his left foot or pick a pass quicker than he did. After the drag back, he just dwelled on the ball for just a half a second too long, and I feel like that allowed the players, the Arsenal defenders, to just get there, just in the nick of time, which is where it all worked, which is where it died. So I do feel for him, but then again, he's on the right. He doesn't want to take a shot with his left foot. If he's on the left, that's it. That's on his right foot, and he 100% takes that shot.
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of the league, we stay second for the moment. Leicester play Leeds tomorrow. Leicester win, we go 1 point behind Leicester and into third.
Yeah.
So I just literally last week we're top. Now we could be how many points? 6 points. 6 points away from Man City. Yeah.
It's Man City. We will be 6 points behind them, but it's just how well we can fight back. And as I said before, I think we prefer to be chasing. And I do feel like that's when we play our best football. That's when we look the most dangerous. When we're at the top, it's like, oh my God, we just cannot lose. We're playing not to lose. And as I was talking before, I just remembered, I can't remember who said it. It was a player at the club, and I think it might have been Rio Ferdinand. When David Moyes took over, the mentality in the whole club shifted from Sir Alex Ferguson, we're going to attack and we're going to win, to we need to find a way not to lose. And I feel like when we're on top, that's the mentality that we have. But when we're chasing, it's just we have to win. Now it's we don't want to lose. And if there's any sniff of us maybe not getting a point or a win out of this game, we're just gonna slow it down and just make sure we don't concede.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate the way it is.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. Like from all the big 6 teams we played, we just don't want to lose. It's another 0-0 draw.
Draws.
It just shows we don't want to lose, but we're not ready to risk it and attack and try and score a goal.
That's how you win the league.
Definitely. Like Sheffield, I mean, Man City, Sheffield today. Man City luckily got a 1-0 win. That shows that obviously Sheffield were a good team. They played well today. But City, they want to win the league. They have to win this type of games. They can't allow it to be 0-0. And then I think that's the difference. We need, I don't know if it's Ollie, it's the players. I don't know. I don't want to say Ollie out. I don't want to. I've said it in the past, but he's proven us wrong. But now we're going back. But now we're going back into the form that maybe, we shouldn't be in, considering our team.
We'll be out of this soon. I'm very confident we'll be back to the way we were playing 2 weeks ago very soon. I'm not concerned about that. I'm just concerned about what happens when we get on top. And that's, ever since Ollie came in, we've built on the foundations that were already here, and we're getting better in aspects, but there's just the final things that we need to finish off, and knowing what to do and knowing how to play, knowing how to act, even on social media, with the club post. We just lost against Sheffield United and they're posting pictures of the players laughing and smiling in training. It's not what people want to see. Yes, you have to have a good morale in the squad, and it's nice that they're not up. It's not nice that you're not upset. The club aren't going to post. It's tricky because the club aren't going to post the players sulking or being angry, because why do your fans want to see that? But when we've just lost and now we're not first in the league anymore, and then you post laughing picture, it's very, I think it's disrespectful in a way to people like us. Our lives go into this club, whether people want to accept it or not, and then just, it's tricky, but those are the final things that we need to work on and to really make us a top team in England.
And moving on to Arsenal. I think Arsenal, obviously, this was their cup final, playing Man U. A lot of their players actually turned up today, and one player I was surprised with was Nicolas Pepe. He's been in quite good form.
He always plays well against us.
He was good today. He was dangerous. He was a spinning Luke Shaw left, right, centre.
Yeah.
He should have scored. He had so many chances to score, but it was literally Pepe, even Lacazette. That free kick. That free kick was Lacazette's free kick. That was crazy. Exactly, it was the exact same position as Bruno's free kick as well. Mm. Now, if that went in, I wouldn't even complain if we lost that game to that free kick, to be honest. But
I would have been upset, but I would have understood why we lost, and I would have had to accept it. Mm. It would have been a deserved loss in a way, but Nicolas Pepe always plays well against us. Maguire, I can't get started on Maguire today. I'm not going to get started on Maguire today because I'm not in the right place to talk about him. But when Nicolas Pepe gets on the ball and Maguire is not even facing the right way and he's running it away from him, allowing him, and you have to close him down. It's just because he's not agile. He can't move. Yeah, quickly. And just, if we had Bailly, Bailly should have played. I don't know where he is. Just watching Lindelof and Maguire, it's
If we're just calling for attacking players to attack them and just beat them.
So we needed someone to take authority. Rashford tried his best, but there's only so much he can do when he only has one thing that he can do, and it's go down the line. It's tricky, but it's something we have to accept, and I feel like it's going to carry on. His position will carry on. Diallo's for us today, which I heard about. I feel like he might be involved in our next Premier League match.
I think he just put him in the team. What is there to lose? There's nothing to lose. Put him in the team.
Put him in the deep end.
Put him in the team. See how he reacts in the Prem.
We are in a position we can't be slow with what we do. We have to risk it.
Definitely,
because we clearly haven't got a right winger.
Things what I don't understand is after lockdown, we're playing Bruno, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood in attack, and now
because
it just doesn't work.
Rashford on the left.
Yeah,
that's what I mean,
and it's not working anymore.
We were chasing the fourth spot. We got third, which was nice. But we were chasing. We had to. We literally could not drop points, and that's when the players it was life or death for them. Now it's we were sitting cushy at the top of the league, so they dropped off. Everyone dropped off,
and it's just
apart from Pogba actually.
Yeah, Pogba had a good game again.
Yeah,
pushing for a move. Yeah. I'm gonna say this every episode. I'm gonna say this every episode because, as it stands, he's gonna leave because we're not. As it stands, I don't think. As it stands, okay, we're still in the race, but as it stands, we're not likely to win. If we were, if we actually win the league, he will stay. If we don't win the league, he will go.
That's the only way I see him staying.
Even if we win the FA Cup, he'll go.
Pogba wants trophies. I think if we win a trophy, he'll stay. But would you give him your man of the match?
Man of the match. Shaw had a good game again.
Yeah.
Who else?
He's dropping sevens every match now, Luke Shaw.
Yeah, it's between Pogba, Shaw.
I say my other person is Lindelof.
Lindelof. Yeah.
But
Wan-Bissaka, he was getting forward quite a lot. I haven't seen him get forward that much, but
maybe tackle or something.
Yeah. But it's the final product from Wan-Bissaka. He found himself in the box quite a few times, surprisingly. But it's just the final product, the end product. If he can work on that, then he has the energy to get up and down.
Yeah, I'd say though. I'd probably. I don't want to say it just because it's Pogba. I'd probably give him my man of the match because I felt good when he was on the ball. Other players, when I was on the ball, I just felt maybe I should just don't get too excited or don't expect too much to happen. When Pogba's on the ball, I feel a level of comfort that makes me think we just have to keep him. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give it to Paul Pogba today.
No one from the Arsenal team stood out.
Maybe Lacazette. Or
Smith Rowe
had a good game.
Smith Rowe, yeah.
He was dangerous, but it was all a bunch of nearlies for him, nearly passes. But that will come with age, the perfection. Pepe had a good game, but I would give it to probably Lacazette for them.
So yeah, our next game, Southampton away. Wait, is that away or home? At home, yeah. Old Trafford. I think that's on Tuesday. At home. What are you saying for that game? What do you want to see for that game?
Obviously, I want a win. I want to see the strongest team possible, which means I say that, but I also want to see Diallo play. I want Rashford on that. We need Rashford on the left with Luke Shaw. We need that down the left. We need Rashford on the left with Luke Shaw. We need Cavani up front. We need a natural right winger. We need in the middle Pogba, Fernandes, and I'd probably say McTominay over Fred. And then Bailly and Maguire at the back with Wan-Bissaka at right back, obviously De Gea in goal. That's the team I want. That's not the team that's going to be fielded, but I'm not the manager, am I?
I think he could potentially field that team without Bailly. Potentially. I think he's seen from today that Pogba can play in midfield against the top teams. and do a good job. So I think he has to play Pogba in midfield. It makes no sense putting Rashford on the right. He can't play on the right.
Yeah.
So have him on the left, where he's best with Shaw. And it was not going to be an easy game. Southampton, you went 2-0 down to them in the first half. We did get back to win, but Old Trafford is different. It's different. Old Trafford, people aren't scared to come to Old Trafford and perform and get a result. So, hoping for the best that game.
We'll just have to see. I'm not scared though. Relatively confident. We didn't lose today, which is nice, but I feel like the players need to bounce back at some point, and hopefully it is against Southampton on Tuesday.
Definitely. So I guess that rounds out this episode. That's Arsenal 0, Man United 0 at Emirates Stadium. Jesse Lingard's dance floor. Jesse Lingard gone to West Ham. But yeah,
I need him to Millie Rock. I need him to Millie Rock just for old time's sake.
Yeah, wish him the best. I don't think he has a future at the club, but yeah.
No.
Hope for the best. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe to this channel. See you.